One. Now we're talking about should I tell my boyfriend the truth about losing my virginity to him? Let's talk about it more. Please subscribe me and like my video. I started dating my boyfriend a year and a half ago. We were friends for years before that. I lost my virginity to him, but I never told him that. He assumes I had sex with other people and I never corrected him. I guess I'm lying by omission. Basically, I was scared to have sex until I got in a relationship, so my sexual experience never got past third base. Don't ask why I was scared. I don't really know. I've had a lot of hookups, but they were usually one or two up. My previous ex-boyfriend a couple of years ago had his own issues with sex, and we hooked up in other ways. So once I started dating my current boyfriend, he was the first person I wanted to have sex with. The first few months of us having sex, I would occasionally get really emotional afterwards, like start crying for an apparent reason. I don't know why it affected me that way, but it was just really intense. I just think I have a bit of rough time processing my sexual history, which has had its bad moments, and it got heavy. He was always very sweet and understanding, wondering if he did anything to upset me, and he never did. But I couldn't give him any other explanation besides what I just said. I don't know if I should tell him because I don't know if it matters at this point, and he might think it's weird or view me differently, like less matter or experience it in relationships. Not even my friends know that I never had sex before, even though I never actually referenced my first time or told any sex stories. I don't find it kind of embracing even though it was my choice. I think my boyfriend would like to know, and it might help him understand me better. He has always been the more sexual one in our relationship, and he definitely has more experience. I never really had the desire to have sex with anyone before him. Not sexual, just done for other stuff. It's worth it to tell him. Told her my boyfriend doesn't know that I lost my virginity to him, and I'm wondering if I should tell him. I think you found a safe space with him, so it wouldn't matter if you told him now. From the way you've described him, it seems like he'd be understanding, and I don't see the problem in telling him that he was your first. Now, if you told him he was your first when in reality you've already lost virginity, that'd be a different story. I think he can help you with the post-sex issues if you let him in more. Don't worry about it, OP. Try to make him properly understanding why you didn't tell him in the first place, and it'll be fine. He sounds like a very caring dude, and I think if you confide this truth that's buffering you, he will love you more for it. As in, he will feel actually very trusted love that you shared a secret buffering you for so long, and it will make your relationship stronger in a long run anyway, so win-win. Good luck. I guess I'm lying by omission. Now, if you are spreading an CTD, then it's really no one else's business. Tell him if you wish, but it's nothing to feel bad about. I seriously doubt he cares that much. Well, first, you have nothing to be embraced about. People have sex and don't have sex for all kinds of reasons. Your sexual past is yours. If you feel ready to share, that's great, but you don't owe anyone an explanation or an apology for it. Having said that, if you see a future with him, then I think you should tell him, using only as much detail as you feel comfortable sharing. Be honest about the reason. It will go much more smoothly than you seem to think it will, and it will be a big weight off your shoulders. Worst case scenario, he's a little miffed that you weren't honest sooner. But from the brief context you gave about him and what you said about your sexual past, I bet he will be very understanding and comforting. It will bring you closer and widen the lines of communication between you two. I had sex for the first time pretty late in life, older than you by a couple of years, and never told my then boyfriend he was my first. I didn't want to scare him off or him feeling like he had some kind of weird responsibility towards me and my feelings. Up to this day, he still doesn't know, and I never regretted not telling him. It seems that this preoccupies your thoughts quite a bit, and it sounds like he does provide you with the safety you need to actually be that open about it. Well, it obviously buffering you somewhat. Tell him, get it off your chest. Unresolved traumas of the past problems of the present. Maybe not now or later, but eventually they will come back to be dealt with. Do it for you, not so much for him. Good or bad ending, you need suffering, sadness, edges, and strife to keep growing up. If true bonding exists between both, all will shape itself as it should. Realistically, virginity is just a social construct and it's not hugely important. If you personally feel like you will gain something like some kind of satisfaction or bonding moment by sharing this information, then go for it. But if not, I wouldn't sweat. It's not a big deal either way. I ended up telling my girlfriend that she was actually the one who took my virginity. Not only did she seem somewhat relieved by this, but also it felt like a lot of pressure came off me. My secret was finally gone and everything was okay. There's absolutely nothing to embarrass about. You waited for the right one, and that's beautiful. As far as the crying, strong emotional response after orgasm is not uncommon at all. Some people cry, and myself tend to burst out laughing. I'm 45 years old. It's never happened with any other partner I've ever had. But with my fiancé, I get this laughter that bubbles up, and I can't help it just giggle like a moron. I used to apologize for it, but he thinks it's cute and takes it as a compliment. My point is nothing to be worried about. Tell him or don't. I don't think it will matter as far as how he feels about you, but it may make him feel good to know he was that special one. I think you should tell him. I don't see an issue in him knowing this. It's not a shame to wait for someone you feel safe and comfortable with not telling someone you've not had sex is a lie, but it's an innocent one and you meant no malice. Plus, I think he might be pleased your meeting is very precious to you and has been for some time. It's nearly a rom-com plot. Why do you think it does matter? Because it doesn't. Virginity is a social concept humanity should get rid of as fast as possible, because it only enforces an extremely sexist stereotype on women that they have to be pure and innocent for their men. Enjoy your sex life and don't worry about such nonsense as virginity. He didn't even recognize that he took it, so it can't be that great a thing, can it? Tell him, he'll probably marry you after that. That's all. Thank you so much for watching my video and please subscribe and like me. Bye bye.